Hey guys, it's Sam, and this is the behind the scenes of the Making What If Raoh video. Making this video, I already kinda knew that it was going to be the most controversial one because I wanted to make the story more interesting than streamlined, I suppose. So, walking into it, I knew some people were going to be mad about it. I had already recorded this, but then I got a comment of someone who seemed to heavily disagree with everything that I wrote down, which is fine. And I kinda wanted to get into it and get into some of the reasons of why I did what I did and why I wrote certain things certain ways. First thing we're gonna start off with is the Raoh and Ken fight. Not too much to talk about here. This person had mentioned that he basically said that after he defeats Ken, that Yuria should die and go to heaven. I don't know what they mean by this. Like, do you mean Yuria does the whole Raoh and then sends himself up, or do you mean like Raoh just murks her? Which would also be a very insane turn of events for him to just kill her right there. The reason I didn't have him just do that is because I can't imagine, after everything that just happened, all the sorrow that he went through, having to accept the fact that he killed his brother and being a changed person somewhat, that he would just gut Yuria. Like, just straight just and then just kill her. Like, it wouldn't fit the scene. Yuria is such a not factor in this scenario, there's really no reason for me to ever mention her again. Like, no matter what happens in that scene, she's never coming up again, because she would die anyway. Oh yeah, and I guess the other thing for this arc is some people may be wondering, like, why did I have Raoh just go back to conquering immediately after Ken died? The main reason I did that and just basically didn't turn him into Ken 2 was because my reasoning was that Raoh didn't really expect to win this fight anyway. He gave his energy to Yuria, he fully expected to die. Even in the canon, series, Yuria goes like, he just wanted to be defeated by his brother. So when he actually wins the fight he had no intention on winning, he probably felt a little lost, and then he fell back into what he was comfortable with, which is conquering. Because I do remember someone saying that I feel like Raoh would have turned into Ken too. And either or direction is possible. Honestly, both are plausible. If we're going off of the other what if video on this situation, I can't remember what Samuel Heaton did. I think he just made him go immediately to Asura. I can't remember if he said he wanted to conquer it. I'm sorry, Sam. I can't remember. It's been a while. This is Editor M here for a quick interjection. What Samuel Heaton did was he made Raoh beat Ken, capture Yuria, and then immediately go to conquer Asura. So I guess we both had similar interpretations for what would have happened. The Celestial General arc, he didn't mention anything about the Celestial General arc. Some people may be wondering why I made Falco and Raoh team up, and I wanted Raoh to have a buddy for this journey, because I didn't want to just write Raoh by himself. So, like, because the whole story would just be him monologuing like, dang, this is crazy. This Jacko guy is a real piece of work. Like, I didn't want that situation to happen. So I decided that Falco, since they already have history, it would kind of make sense for him to go like, I guess I could recruit this guy. Also, he's kind of strong, so. And some people may be wondering why I made Solia live, and that's really because I wanted to sacrifice him later in the Kaio fight. I know, it was a little greedy. But that really is the only reason I spared him. I doubt anyone's crying over it. It's Solia. Like, I don't know if Solia has fans. Then we have to get into the Asura arc. Oh boy, this is the steamy one. This was the one I was writing it, and I was like, I want this to be so different that I know people are gonna be mad about it. Editor M again, past me worded this like dog shit, so let me reiterate what I meant to say in that sentence. What I meant to say is I knew I was taking the story in such a different direction that some people would get mad at me for that. And that's usually just what happens with change, so it is what it is. That's what I was trying to say with that. I kind of sounded like a dickhead right there, so let's keep going. Let's get into what I knew while I was writing it, right? I knew people weren't going to like the fact I didn't have Raoh, like, pile drive the arc. And the main reason I didn't do that is because there's no way he wins this arc. There's just not. You can argue that he can beat Han. I believe he could beat Han. Hyo is like, I think it's a 50-50, but since Ken beat Hyo, then Raoh would probably be able to beat Hyo. And then there's Kaio, and Kaio is just not, they're not on the same level. Kaio would absolutely decimate base Raoh from HNK 1. The thing with HNK 2 is they upscaled like all those major threats. There's like no way that Raoh beats Kaio. This person got mad that I had Raoh team up with the others to beat Kaio, and I understand why some people are mad about me making everyone team up to fight Kaio, because this is HNK, and in HNK most fights are 1v1s. Almost every major fight is a 1v1. The only reason I decided to make them all team up is because A, it's the only reason that they would ever win, because Kaio would literally kill all of them like in the same moment, and B, given that the whole Hukdo lineage is at stake, I feel like they would make some sacrifices in order order to make sure their whole lineage doesn't die off. That was my reasoning for that decision. This person says that I underestimated Raoh with Kaio, and like I just said, Raoh is not doing anything to Kaio. Muso Tensei would be ineffective against Kaio because Raoh doesn't know how to counter Onryu. So it would be a wrap. And this person also says that when he finds Shachi, Raoh should have went to go get the statue. No. First of all, I didn't even have Shachi meet Raoh until after he met Kaio already. And honestly, if you want me to be real, I was being generous with the fact that he got spared the first time because I kind of wanted to do what the manga did. Because if you remember in the manga, Kaio like straight dicked Ken and Shachi, and then he got possessed for a minute, and that's how they got away. The whole thing with him sinking in the water was me being generous because I didn't want Kaio to immediately kill him. In normal circumstances, Kaio would have killed Raoh in that first encounter. Even in Samuel Heaton's video, he made Kaio kill Raoh. And honestly, if you want me to be as frank as I think I could be, almost 80% of cases, Raoh reaches Asura, may or may not fight Han, Kaio shows up and kills him. It would be like a 5-minute video, and I didn't want to make you guys wait like a year for me to just go like, and then Kaio murders him immediately. Like it just sounded disappointing, so I didn't do that. Also, about the statue thing for Raoh can't touch the statue. I believe you need to be of the main Hokuto lineage's bloodline or whatever, like the Hokuto Soke bloodline, and Raoh's not, so I don't believe it would affect him. I'm not 100% certain on this fact because everything regarding that statue is a bit foggy, but that's what I believe would happen. I don't think Raoh would even live to see the statue because he would have to live a good chunk, or I would have to just make him go. I would have to make him reach Asura, immediately see Shachi immediately say, let's go to this statue that I heard of, and then they immediately find it. Because in any other circumstance, Kaio kills him before that happens. Like, people thought that I disrespected him the way I killed him at the end of the story. If Kaio ran into Raoh at the start, he would have dogged him. Like, there's no other way that I write this. Like, I would go like, Raoh tries to fight back and gets absolutely shit on for like 5 minutes. There's no other way it would go, and it wouldn't end with the same, what does he say? I respect the life I lived. He wouldn't be able to say that. Kaio would just kill him, like, immediately, because he hates the main Hokuto lineage. He would murder Raoh, like, in 2 seconds. This person also mentions that Hyo can't get his seals unlocked, and that's why I didn't make Hyo get his seals unlocked. Some people might be confused on what happened when I made Hyo touch the statue. I just made him get his memories back. I didn't make him get his abilities unsealed. If he got his abilities unsealed, then he would have just murked Kaio and Raoh wouldn't have needed to exist. It's funny because originally when I started writing it, I debated just having Hyo get his seals unlocked and then just like shitting on Kaio. But then I was like, A, I don't think he can do that. And B, Raoh is kind of the main focus of this story. So if I just make it so Hyo deals with the bad guy, it's kind of a letdown. The main reason I decided to make Han and Hyo even relevant in the story was because there's no way Raoh deals with the situation. I know I've said that before in this video, but the only way that Raoh even lives this scenario is if someone or something intervenes. There's no other way he survives it. Like I keep saying, in Samuel Heaton's video where he just has Kaio immediately like kill him when they meet, that's most likely what would have happened. Kaio would have just ran into Raoh and then killed him in 2 seconds. There's nothing else that would have happened in that scenario. I don't actually understand this fourth point this person made. They're saying that when Ken was knocked out by Kaio, that a big spirit thing appeared behind him, and that Raoh can absorb energy. I don't understand this point. If you want to reword it, go ahead. Even Ken being saved by the spirit possessing him in 2 seconds was an ass pull. HNK2 is not known for its strong writing, so Ken just randomly getting possessed by a statue for 2 seconds that he doesn't even know of yet, came out of nowhere, and I didn't do that for Raoh because it didn't even make sense the first time. And I don't understand what your point about absorbing energy means. Like, are you saying he would absorb Kaio's energy? Because it would probably not work because he's evil. I don't know what else to say to this point. He's also saying that I underrated Raoh because Raoh in his death managed to open up the sky. This isn't really impressive. When Falco died, a star exploded, if I remember right. I'm pretty sure if most martial artists in HNK put all their energy into their fist and shot it up, then the sky would open up too. It doesn't seem like a super impressive Raoh only thing. Most people just die, so they don't get into that scenario. This is Editor M one more time, hopefully. I don't think in this recording I fully processed what this comment said. If you look at what the comment says, It says that Raoh at 1% of power could open up the sky, so that should be enough to kill Kaio. So he's saying that Raoh at 1% could beat Kaio. That is the equivalent of saying, because I haven't seen a Dragon Ball character blow up the Earth, they can't beat Vegeta because he almost blew up the Earth and he's blown up planets. It doesn't make sense to make this argument. He's also trying to say that Raoh wasn't using his true power against Ken in the final battle, so we don't know how strong Raoh is. He's not stronger than Kaio. Like, it really isn't even a matter of strength. Kaio's technique counters what Hokuto can do, Hokuto Shinken can do at that point in time. So, no matter how strong Raoh would even be, even if Raoh was randomly stronger than the like Han and Hyo by a long shot, he still couldn't beat Kaio because he can't deal with Onryu. That's the main problem. It does not matter how strong Raoh was. He cannot beat Onryu at all. The only reason Ken was able to do it is because he had his seals unlocked and it taught him like how to counter the technique of Onryu. So that's the only reason that even worked out. Is there anything else I need to say about the Asura arc? Because this person's next point is not about the Asura arc. I saw some people surprised that I gave Han some character development. That just kind of happily ended up working out. Because when I made Kaio intervene in their fight, I didn't process that Han lived until a little bit later, and then I was like, oh shit, I gotta write him into the rest of the story. So then I did. I don't think there's anything else. So let's move on to the next point. Someone had mentioned that they were upset that I didn't have Baron, Shoza, and the Harm brothers, and all the people I made show up at the end. They were upset I didn't make them more important characters in the story. The only two I can think of making more relevant is Baron and Shoza. I could have made Shoza show up earlier, and Raoh's like conquering stuff, and he sees Shoza, and he's like, oh my god, you look like Juza. And then he leaves him alone, and then Shoza's like, I want revenge, and he comes back later. That would have been cool. That was a missed opportunity. As for Baron, I originally wanted to write more for Baron, because you know me, I'm the Baron fanboy. I love Baron, so I wanted to originally write more for Baron, but at that point, I was like, there's no other arcs that happen, so unless I just make them talk, there's nothing else they can really do. That's why I opted to just say that he becomes Baron's mentor, but then it's unfortunately interrupted, because I didn't feel like there was enough time in between arcs for me to just do that. I tried to put when the Hokuto army arrives where Borge was, and in my head those weren't really super far apart, so I didn't feel like there was enough time for me to just go like, and then Raoh and Baron go off and fight fodder, which don't have a reason to exist since Raoh conquered everything nearby. I didn't see a way for Baron to be more important unless he ran into Raoh earlier, which I couldn't imagine, so it is what it is. As a Baron fan, I can assure you I wanted to give Baron some more screen time too. Someone had mentioned that in the final standoff where I had the Hokuto army fight Raoh's army, that Baron could have soloed all of them. This is a fact. They also mentioned Falco. A few people were also upset that I made Falco die to a nameless guy. So let me unpack both of these separately first of all. So for Falco, the only reason I made Falco die to a nameless person is because literally everyone from HNK2, like all the side characters were there, and I didn't want to just go like, yeah, Ein kills Falco or Blank kills Falco. I wanted to leave it up for interpretation. Whoever you wanted to kill Falco killed Falco. And the second reason is people were a little bit sad that I had Falco die in the first place because he's Falco. The thing is, the only reason I had made Falco die was because when he came out of the Asura arc, I said he was injured. I didn't state how injured he was or how effective his abilities were anymore. The main takeaway was meant to be he was really weak at that point, so he didn't have much power left to give. As for Baron being able to solo everything, this is 100% true. Baron would have been able to wash everyone who showed up by himself, given what we were showing. The only reason that I didn't make that happen is because I didn't want that scenario. I know some people are gonna say this is greedy writing, and I kinda did what they did with Falco originally. I did. I'm sorry. Cause the ending of the story would have hit different if I just had Baron and Raoh just kill everyone at the end. It would have been like, damn, this ending is mad depressing. So yeah, sorry Baron fans. I guess I should say sorry to myself too. That's the only reason I didn't have Baron just like solo wipe everybody. It's because I didn't want that outcome. The reason Raoh didn't immediately kill everyone is because he was meant to be holding back at that point. If you heard in the video, I had said that Raoh's ambitions crushed him from like what happened in Asura to what's happening right now with all the bad stuff he did catching up to him. That was meant to be what was happening. Like his guilt was catching up to him for everything he had done from like HNK 1 till now. So then he didn't really feel like killing all of them. So that's why he didn't just immediately go Musou Tensei and then like wipe all of them at the same time. If it was just a straightforward fight, Raoh would have just been like, Celestial Charge, and then killed all of them. So if that makes you guys feel any better. Some people really did not like the death that I gave Raoh. They said it was an insult to his character. I disagree, and I'm going to explain why. But for everyone who disagrees with me, it does not seem like you want to change your mind. The reason I wrote Raoh's death to be the way it was, where he kneels down and accepts his fate for what he did, was because it was meant to mirror Baron's death in the original HNK 2. If you remember HNK 2, the way Baron died is in Baron's life, he basically tricked a ton of people into thinking he was some messiah, and when Ken convinces him what he was doing was wrong, he goes out to the front of the village and tells them to tie him up and let them kill him to accept atonement for what he's done. The reason I killed Raoh the way I did was because I wanted him to accept the pain of all the actions that he's done. It was meant to be like, he's killed hundreds of people in a multitude of different disrespectful ways. So the only way that he sees appropriate for himself to die is that if he lets the Hokuto army kill him. He didn't deserve to die on his feet, respected, because this isn't HNK 1 where he's like, I agree with every decision I've made. Because across the what if scenario, you can see multiple times where he's like, I fucked up. Like before the Kaio fight, when he's afraid of Kaio, when he sees Shoza and Baron dead and he's full of regret, he clearly does not think the same way he does at the end of HNK 1 because different events happen. So he's meant to go like, I'm just over it. Like there's no other way I could see that character ending. Did you want me to just make him kill Rin, Bat, and everyone else? Like, honestly would have been a horrendous ending. Like, because then Raoh would just have to live with the fact that he conquered everything. Which, it's an interesting ending, but it's like a Dark Souls depressing one. So that's why I didn't opt to do it. You could do either or. We could just have Raoh live with guilt for the rest of his life. But I didn't want to do that. This isn't meant to be Raoh the Conqueror. That's the thing I feel like a lot of people that don't like the what if don't understand about what I was trying to do. This isn't meant to be Raoh being the big strong conqueror he was in HNK 1. It was meant to be a deconstruction of his character from the flaws that he had in HNK 1. And that's why I didn't just make him pile drive everybody. Or just make him feel prideful and like instantly destroy the whole Hokuto army. That's not meant to be who he was at that point of the story, so that's why that didn't happen. Is there anything else I need to talk about? I don't think there is. The person who left the big angry comment had told me to do my own research. So I did, and there isn't really anything I feel too bad about putting in that video. There are some things in that video that are, you know, subjective. You don't have to like how I handled Raoh and how I wanted to deconstruct him. That's fine. Some people wanted me to just make him the prideful guy that he was in HNK 1. I didn't want to do that. That's all up to opinion. If anyone has any other different opinions they would like to tell me about in the comments, I would be glad to discuss with you. I hope we can have a civil conversation where we both listen? Where we both listen? What the fuck? Where we both listen to each other's opinions. And with that, I've been M, and I am out.